All right, so this is our monthly staple video. This is our real estate market update for the cities of Temecula, Murrieta, and Menifee, California. We're going to go over all the latest stats for all three cities and then compare them to last year. So let's go ahead and get into it. Hey guys, hey again, my name is Justin Short. I'm a realtor and team leader with the Short Real Estate team here at Keller Williams in Temecula, and this is our monthly staple. This is the real estate market update where we're going to go over all the latest stats for the cities of Temecula, Murrieta, and Menifee, California. But before we get to all the information, if you are liking real estate videos like this, please do me a favor, please hit like, please hit subscribe. Obviously, it helps me and it helps my channel as we try to continue to grow it. And we have new videos that we put out each and every week, and it's all local-based content. So just going over the local cities, Southwest, Riverside County, Temecula, Murrieta, Menifee. So you can definitely check out more videos each and every week. And then if you guys have any real estate questions, you can feel free to reach out anytime. So you can see my information either down below the video or at the end. You can see my cell phone number, my email. You can feel free, you can call, you can text, you can email me. Happy to answer any questions you may have, help point you in the right direction, or of course, I would love to help you out with your real estate search if that is something we can help with. So like I said, feel free to reach out, and I would love to have a conversation with you and see if we can do anything to help. All right, so we're gonna get into all the latest stats. We're gonna set this up, the same as our other market update videos. We're gonna start with the city of Temecula, and the stat we're gonna go over is the total number of new listings. So a year ago, I guess I'll back up. So this update is for the month of December 2025, right? And so we're gonna compare this month and over the last 30 days compared to 12 months ago. So we'll start with the total number of new listings for Temecula. So in Temecula a year ago, their total number of new listings that came up on the market in December 2024 was 144 new listings. This year, over the last 30 days, we have seen the amount of listings coming up on the market decline. So we are seeing a little bit of a decrease. We're down to 131 new listings. So it's about 13 homes less, but it is 9%. So I mean that's a pretty big difference. And then the city of Murrieta and Menifee also saw a decline as well. So city of Murrieta, a year ago, we saw a total of 165 available homes or new listings coming up on the market. And then this year we're down to 138. So that's a bigger change. That's an 18% change. And then the city of Menifee, a year ago, total of 199 new listings. And this year we are down to 155. So there's a 22% decrease. Really across the board, as we're getting into holiday time, we typically do see a slowdown in the new inventory coming up on the market, right? A lot of people just hold off putting their homes on the market, wait until after the holidays, etc. But I mean, we're comparing to a year ago, right? So this is December to December. We're seeing even we're seeing even more of a change this year compared to last year. So, I mean, you're about, you're 9%, 18%, and 22% decreases in all three cities. Definitely less listings coming up on the market. All right, so the next stat we're going to talk about is the total number of active listings. And this is basically, hey, if I'm a buyer and I want to buy a home in a given city, let's say Temecula, how much inventory is out there for me to choose from, right? How many homes can I pick from? So this is a stat that we have seen go up and up and up over the last really 6 months. And it's kind of interesting because Temecula, we're actually seeing a little bit of a decrease. So I'll get into the specifics, but the other two cities, we did still see a little bit of an increase. So city of Temecula, last year, December 2024, if you wanted to buy a home, there was a total of 634 available homes to choose from. This year, we are down to 578 available homes to choose from. So that is an 8% decrease. I'm actually pretty surprised by this because we've seen that stat go up and up and up. It feels like that would mean that there are homes that have been listed over the last several months. Some people have pulled their homes off the market, for the holidays, or no longer want to sell, or decide maybe try again next year, whatever the reason. And then some of it is homes that have been sitting have started to get snapped up. Homes that we've seen price reduction, finally get an offer and sell, finally sell. And I've experienced that a lot with my own clients where we've seen homes that have been sitting, we maybe write an offer on them, and all of a sudden there's multiple offers, and they're they're getting snapped up and going away. So it feels like the market's starting to change a little bit in that respect, and maybe some people just pulling their kind of their chips off the table, kind of wait to sell in the future, and then some of the homes that have been stale and sitting kind of finally getting snapped up. And I've experienced that in Temecula, my clients that are buying in there. So it is kind of interesting though, because the other two cities say different. So City of Murrieta, a year ago, there's a total of 625 available homes to choose from. And this year we were at 647. So it is an increase. It's only a 4% change, so it's not super significant, but it is more than last year. And then Menifee, a year ago, there was a total of 701 available homes to choose from. And this year, I guess we did see a little decrease. So we're down to 696. So, it's less than 1%. There's 5 less homes this year compared to last year. More or less, basically about the same. But this is a stat that we've seen, big increase, and this is the first time we're kind of seeing that leveling out and a slight decrease for Temecula even. So something to keep an eye on as we get into the new year. All right, so the next stat we're going to talk about is the average days on market for each city. So this is just, hey, in each given city, how long is the average home taken to sell, right? If homes are selling super, super quick, that's going to be more of a seller's market. And if homes are taking months and months and months and months to sell, that's definitely going to be more of a buyer's market, right? And, I will tell you that we have seen homes take a little bit longer to sell. This year compared to a year ago, that's kind of been a trend over the last few months. Anytime you see a slowing market, that's going to happen. But honestly, I thought we would see longer and longer days on market. It's not quite as stretched out as I would have thought. So a year ago in the city of Temecula, the average home was selling in 38 days. And then this year, the average home is now selling in 55 days. So it is a pretty big increase. It's 41%, kind of feels like a big number. But in overall days, it's 17 days longer. The average home is still selling in less than 60 days, so less than 2 months. That would still be considered, seller's market and definitely pretty balanced. I thought, with as slow as things have been, I thought we'd start seeing that number jump up and up and up, but not yet. So City of Murrieta, a year ago, the average home was selling in 38 days as well, and this year the average home is up to 50 days. So again, taking a little bit longer, 31% increase. It's 12 days longer, still less than 2 months on average. Still not terribly long. City of Menifee, kind of same thing. So a year ago, the average home was selling in 36 days, and this year we're up to 45 days. It's an increase, but again, well under 2 months. So still homes moving relatively quickly. All right, so the last stat we're going to talk about is the average sales price. And really, pretty much across the board, the home prices are pretty flat year over year. Slight changes. Murrieta, we saw the biggest jump, but I'll kind of give you my opinion on that. But more or less, not much difference this year compared to last year, which has been pretty constant for the last 3 years here locally. Pretty flat market, maybe slight increases. So a year ago, the average home in the city of Temecula was selling for $871,000. And this year, the average home is up to $873,000. So it's a $2,000 increase. It's less than 1%. It's not super significant, although they are, technically trending up. More or less, I would say that's flat, right? So City of Murrieta, a year ago, the average home was selling for $698,000. And this year we are at $731,000. So it's more of an increase. That's a 5% increase, over $30,000. It is, I think the numbers that you're seeing for Temecula are probably more indicative on actually what is happening. More or less flatline, maybe just a kind of a slight increase. 5% jump feels strong. I've pointed this out before, but a lot of times, a few outliers last year or this year can really throw this number off because we're just looking at one city. So for example, last year, maybe there was a couple, less expensive homes that were like mobile homes or something, lower price points that kind of pulled the price down. Or maybe this year there was a couple extra, multi-million-dollar homes that are really raising, the average price point up. So, because we are looking at the average, right? So we are seeing increase 5%, but I think more or less pretty much about the same, maybe slight increase. And then City of Menifee, we saw just a very, very minimal decrease. So the average home a year ago was selling for $564,000, and this year we were at $549,000. So a little bit of a decrease there. about $15,000 in average sales price. I guess it's a little more significant than little, but you're seeing a little bit of a trend there as far as a little bit lower sales price in Menifee. So these are all things we'll keep an eye on. We'll keep running numbers each month. Hope to help keep you guys updated on what's going on here locally. And I hope it's good information. Feel free to reach out if I can do anything to help. And hopefully talk to you soon. Thanks.